guys, what's up? Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma for those of you who are new, and I would love it if you guys subscribed and stuck around. Today's video I'm so excited for because I'm back at you with another book haul. It's been a minute since I filmed my last book haul, so I've accumulated a few books since then. I have another 11 books to show you behind me. If you're new to my channel or need a refresher, every time I film a book haul I'm going to do 11 books, unless it's a huge book haul or just a mini book haul in the vlog, and then I'm also always gonna light this book club candle. So those are my two little traditions in terms of book videos over here. But please let me know any book recommendations that you have for me or book video recs that you have for me, because I know I just film book hauls and like reading vlogs, but I'd love to film like a TBR list, themed book videos, book wrap-ups, that sort of thing, and I'm never going to stop filming reading vlogs, book hauls, that sort of thing. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into this video. These books are going to be more like summer related, either books that I've accumulated over the past couple months and have been waiting to read because they're on my summer TBR list, because they're like beachy or romance or travel related, or I just have a couple videos that I've already read over the past couple months that I think would be good to add to your summer reading list if you haven't already read them. So be sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe, as well as follow me on my Instagram, TikTok, Goodreads. It's all linked down below. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into this book haul. Okay, these books are in no particular order. I just sort of like stacked them up like I always do, but there are a couple books in this stack that I've already read, so I can give you my thoughts on them, but I'll definitely go into more depth in like a book wrap-up video or something. But you can also always check out my Goodreads and keep up with me in real time to see what books I'm reading, what I rate them, and that sort of thing. My Goodreads is just at msnide, so definitely friend me over on there. I'd love to keep up with you guys and see what you're reading as well. But let's just go ahead and get into the first book on the stack here. All right, so the first book on the stack is perfect for summertime, and I haven't read this one yet. This is One Italian Summer by Rebecca Serle. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but I've only ever read one book from her. I've read In 5 Years, and I really liked it. And so I'm super excited. I think this is her newest release. I could be wrong, but I absolutely love the cover. It looks just like a little Italian or French, like riverside, oceanside kind of situation, and it just makes me want to travel. Just the cover in general, I was like, I don't even know what this book is about. I haven't read the description yet, so super excited to read this one. But let's see what it says. When Katie's mother dies, she is left reeling. Carol wasn't just Katie's mom, but her best friend and first phone call. Even Katie's husband can't seem to get through to her. She is lost without her anchor. Her mother was her true north. To make matters worse, the mother-daughter trip of a lifetime looms, going to Positano, following the very same route Carol did as a young woman. Katie has been waiting years for Carol to take her, and now suddenly she's faced with embarking on the adventure alone. But as soon as she steps foot on the beautiful Amalfi Coast, buoyed by the stunning cliffsides, delectable food, and charming hotel staff, Katie begins to feel her mother's spirit. And then Carol appears for real, in the flesh, healthy and suntanned, and 30 years old. Katie doesn't understand what's happening or how, but over the course of her time in Italy, Katie gets to know Carol in this new form, and soon she must reconcile the mother who knew everything with the young woman who does not yet have a clue. Oh my god, you guys, I hadn't even read the description yet. This sounds amazing. I think this is gonna be my next book that I read. I just picked it up because I thought it was some kind of like romance novel, but this definitely sounds like something Rebecca would write, because In 5 Years had like that sort of like twist and stuff to it as well. But oh my gosh, that sounds so good. Kind of heartbreaking, but like amazing. And I'm so excited that it's set in Italy on the Amalfi Coast, and I just feel like it's the perfect read for summer. And if you're definitely going to Italy this summer, if you are, I'm totally jealous, you should definitely just throw this in your bag and read it on your flight or in the airport or whatever to prep you for Positano. But super stoked to read this. This is why you should always read the description of books before you buy them, but sometimes people just say this is a good book, I recommend it, and I just pick it up without reading the description. But super excited to read this one. Okay, next book on the stack I'm so excited to read. This is Emily Henry's newest release, Book Lovers. This literally just came out like a week or so ago, and I literally went to Books A Million, was the first customer there, and picked it up on the day that it was released. And I I'm so excited to read this book. I've only ever read one book by Emily Henry. I've read Beach Read. I have People We Meet on Vacation back there, which would have been a great book to haul in this video, but I already hauled that one last summer. And I love Emily Henry's writing style, so I'm super excited to read this book. Oh, I also forgot to mention that One Italian Summer has 3.74 stars on Goodreads, and then let's see what Book Lovers has. And then Book Lovers has 4.53, so it looks like readers are loving this book. I feel like I didn't expect anything less from Emily Henry because people like love her books. They're just so overhyped on like TikTok, and maybe not overhyped because I really liked Beach Read, but they're like really hyped up on TikTok and social media. So excited to read this one, but let's read the back cover. Nora Stevens' life is books. She's read them all, and she is not that type of heroine. Not the plucky one, not the laid-back dream girl, and especially not the sweetheart. In fact, the only people Nora is a heroine for are her clients, for whom she lands enormous deals as a cutthroat literary agent, and her beloved little sister, Libby. Which is why she agrees to go to Sunshine Falls, North Carolina for the month of August, when Libby begs her for a sister's trip away. With visions of a small-town transformation for Nora, who she's convinced needs to become the heroine in her own story. But instead of picnics and meadows or run-ins with a handsome country doctor or bulging four-armed bartender, Nora keeps bumping into Charlie Lastra, a bookish, brooding editor from back in the city. It would be a meet cute if not for the fact that they've met many times and it's never been cute. If Nora knows she's not an ideal heroine, Charlie knows he's nobody's hero. But as they are thrown together again and again in a series of coincidences no editor worth their salt would allow, what they discover might just unravel the carefully crafted story they've written about themselves. So, I love this, and I don't know if Emily Henry does this a lot, but if like the professions of her main characters are like in the publishing industry, like authors, agents, editors, that sort of thing, because I know that was what Beach Read was like. They were both authors, so this one is a little bit different, but I think that's just so cute that she's an author, and you can just tell her love for literature, obviously, because her characters sometimes have that profession. But this one just sounds so cute, and I'm just so excited to read it. And with it being hyped up at 4.53 stars, like, I feel like this one is going to be a good one. So I think I'm going to hold off a little bit more on this one, but I might read One Italian Summer first and then film a reading vlog for this one as well. Look forward to a lot of reading vlogs this summer because it's my favorite thing to do in my free time, like going to a coffee shop, reading on my lunch break at work, at home on my days off, at the pool. So definitely look forward to a lot more reading vlogs, and then I mean there will be more book wrap-ups and book wrap videos for you guys. Okay, next book is by one of my favorite authors. I think she's become my new favorite author. Sorry Colleen Hoover, sorry any other author that trumped her before, but I think this one might be my new favorite. I'm kind of like, I think The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was my favorite, and the fact that it's becoming a Netflix film is just so amazing, but just the way this one was written was just phenomenal, and I flew through this book. This is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and let's see what it has on Goodreads. This one is also an Amazon Prime show that's coming out soon, so I'm super excited. I rated this a 5-star on Goodreads. It has a 4.24 stars overall on Goodreads. So Daisy is a girl coming of age in LA in the late 60s, sneaking into clubs on the Sunset Strip, sleeping with rock stars, and dreaming of singing at the Whiskey A Go-Go. Her voice is getting noticed, and she has the kind of heedless beauty that makes people do crazy things. Also getting noticed is the Six, a band led by the brooding Billy Dunn. On the eve of their first tour, his girlfriend Camila finds out she's pregnant, and with the pressure of impending fatherhood and fame, Billy goes a little wild on the road. Daisy and Billy cross paths when a producer realizes that the key to supercharged success is to put the two together. What happens next will become the stuff of legend. And this is amazing. It's sort of set up, it reads like an interview or like a documentary. So you see the settings vividly, the characters vividly, the songs vividly, because Taylor Jenkins Reid actually freaking wrote songs, and it feels like you're reading a true story of a band in the 60s and the 70s, their rise to fame, these people, their problems with substance abuse, that sort of thing. And this book was just beautiful, and I really hope the Amazon Prime series does it justice, but if not, I think you guys should totally pick it up. And I feel like this is the perfect read for summer, even though it's not specifically set in the summer, but rock and roll, music, shows, concerts, that just seems like a summer thing in my opinion, and getting to read all about these people and they're based in California, but also just their life on the road and just their music is just so beautiful. So definitely add this to your summer reading list if you haven't already read it. But this was just such a beautiful book, and I just need Taylor Jenkins Reid to release a new book every week. I know that's not possible, but she is just a phenomenal author. Okay, next up, I have a book that's quite out of my comfort zone. I do not read fantasy. I read thriller, I read romance, and I read contemporary fiction. But I have just heard so much about this book on Goodreads, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, and I just had to pick it up for myself. So I got the first book in this series by Sarah J. Maas or Mass. I got A Court of Thorns and Roses. So I'm super excited to read this book. Let's read the back cover really quick. But this is a fantasy novel, and it has 4.19 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. So when 19-year-old huntress Fair, I don't know her name, kills a wolf in the woods, a terrifying creature arrives to demand retribution. Dragged to a treacherous, magical land she knows about only from legends, Fair discovers that her captor is not truly a beast, but one of the lethal, immortal fairies who once ruled her world. At least he's not a beast all the time. As she adapts to her new home, her feelings for the fairy Tamlin transform from icy hostility into a fiery passion that burns through every lie she's been told about the beautiful, dangerous world of the Fae. But something is not right in the fairylands. An ancient wicked shadow is growing, and Fair must find a way to stop it or doom Tamlin and his world forever. So completely not up my alley at all. Like maybe in like middle school I would have read something like this, but I think this is gonna be so good, and I heard it's kind of like spicy and a little bit smutty, so I like that kind of stuff. And this is just going to be a different take on romance for me, and I can definitely see this one being turned into like a Netflix series or a movie or something one day. So if I really like this book, I'm going to get the other ones in the series and maybe film a reading vlog for it. So maybe I'll film a reading vlog for this one as well. I told you there's going to be a lot of reading vlogs this summer, but I think just because this book is so far out of what I typically would reach for, I'm excited to like share with you guys my thoughts on this book, so we'll see if I like it. Okay, next up, I actually just finished this book a couple days ago, and I still don't really know how to feel about this book. Let me see what I rated it on Goodreads really quick. That's why you should always follow me on Goodreads, because I'm always posting over there. Okay, I gave this book 4 stars, so I kind of liked it. It took me a while to get into it just because it's written sort of that like Where the Crawdads Sing, like Little Fires Everywhere type of vibe, and that's always not my favorite. I just like books that are like really cheesy and easy to get through, but this one, just the underlying themes and everything, it was a beautiful yet heartbreaking story. It made me sick at times, and there are a lot of trigger warnings in this one. I will just like throw that out there. Sexual abuse, just abuse in general, that sort of thing, and I didn't realize that going into this book, so it brought up a lot of like gross feelings, but this book was beautiful nonetheless. So this is The Paper Palace by Miranda Cowley Heller, and I think this is a wonderful book for summertime because it's really mainly set in the Cape, in this paper palace, like a little lake house type of sort of situation, ocean house type of situation, and it just feels like a summer book because a lot of it happened in the summer. So it is a perfect August morning when Elle Bishop awakens in the backwoods Cape Cod cabin where her family has spent every summer for generations. But this morning is different. Last night, Elle and her oldest friend had a secret, passionate encounter outside in the darkness while their spouses chatted away inside. Now Elle will have to decide between the world she has made with her much-beloved husband Peter and the life she'd always imagined would be hers with her childhood love Jonas, if a tragic event had not forever changed the course of their lives. So this one is basically bounces back between like the present day and her dealing with what she did with her childhood best friend Jonas, and then it bounces back to like literally the beginning of her life and just all the experience that shaped her to be the way that she is, with men, with her mother, with other women. And it's just a really tragic story, and then it keeps bouncing back between the present day with her trying to figure out her feelings for Jonas while she's still married and has kids and all of that sort of thing, and then it sort of shows why her and Jonas drifted apart in the first place. And it's just a really different take on a love story, and it really is just so beautiful, but sort of just tragic and heartbreaking at the same time. So I would just research trigger warnings before going into this because I didn't before. But yeah, really good book, and it took me a little while to get into it, but once I did, I read it so quickly and finished it so quickly, and it honestly was such a wonderful read. So definitely recommend this one for summer for sure. I'm honestly worried about my book club candle. Like, I feel like I shouldn't be stacking books next to this, but I'll just make 2 stacks. Okay, next one I've also already read. This is The Good Girl Complex by Elle Kennedy, and this is the first book in her newest series. Elle Kennedy has a couple series that are sort of like college romancy. The Off-Campus series, which I've read the first 2 books of, is really cheesy and good, and then I think she also has like another series that I want to pick up called Briar U, which is like college, smutty, that sort of thing, and this one is also kind of along the same lines. I'm not sure what this is rated on Goodreads, but I gave it 4 stars, and then it has 3.58 overall on Goodreads. So Mackenzie Cabot is a people pleaser. It's exhausting really, always following the rules. All she wants to do is focus on growing her internet business, but first she must get a college degree at her parents' insistence. That means moving to the beachside town of Avalon Bay, a community made up of the locals and the wealthy students of Garnet College. 20-year-old Mac has plenty of practice suppressing her wilder impulses, but when she meets local bad boy Cooper Hartley, that ability is suddenly tested. Cooper is rough around the edges, raw, candid, a threat to her ordered existence. Their friendship soon has become the realest thing in her life. Despite his disdain for the trust fund kids he sees coming and going from his town, Cooper soon realizes Mac isn't just another rich clone and falls for her hard. But as Mac finally starts feeling accepted by Cooper and his friends, the secret he's been keeping from her threatens the only place she's ever felt at home. So this book, I'm going to tell you right now, it gives me like Outer Banks vibes because of like the bae, the bad boy, the rich girl, that sort of thing. It's kind of like a Sarah, Topper, and John B. like sort of triangle situation, like trust fund girl falls for rough around the edges bad boy, and it sort of gives me that vibe. But I think that's why I liked it so much, because I love OBX, and I just love just romance novels that I can get through so quickly. Like, this didn't reinvent the wheel in any way, but I just think it's really cute, and I love how the main character is like her own boss. Like, she has her own business, like a multi-million-dollar business and that sort of thing, and I just love how like headstrong she is. And not gonna lie, I'm kind of in love with Cooper. Like, I want to move to a beach town and fall in love with a tattooed bad boy, even though I have a boyfriend. That's what reading is for, because you get to like imagine yourself in all these scenarios and stuff. But really cute book if you want to just read something that's super summery, super romance, super smutty. It needed more though. It needed more. But am I still gonna pick up the second book in the series when it comes out in the fall? Yes. And I feel like I'm talking a mile a minute, but this book was really good. I really just like Elle Kennedy's like way to just make like really easy, cheesy, quick to read books. Okay, only a few more books in the stack, but next up, this one just sounds so cute. I had never heard of it, but I saw it at Target when I was shopping a little while ago, and I just thought I had to pick it up. So this is called Lockdown on London Lane, and this has a lot to do with like quarantine and isolation and stuff. I think this book came out after the pandemic had started, but I think this is gonna be like just a really cute book. I think there's a lot of romance and stuff involved, and this has a 3.59 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. So let me read the back cover to you guys. For the inhabitants of a quaint apartment block, a simple slip of paper underneath each of their doors is about to change their lives in 100 different ways. Ethan and Charlotte wonder whether absence really does make the heart grow fonder when they end up on either side of a locked door. A fierce debate over pineapple on pizza ignites a series of revelations between Zach and Serena about their 4-year relationship. Liv learns that rolling with the punches is sometimes much harder than it looks as a bridesmaid party goes off the rails. Isla and Danny jump 10 steps ahead on their new relationship timeline as they decide to weather the storm together. Imogen and Nate's one-night stand is about to get 6 do-overs they never really asked for, which is not awkward at all. Through makeups, breakups, love-ins, and blowouts, friendships are tested as everyone scrambles to make it through unscathed. Amidst all the drama, one thing remains constant. Life is full of surprises. So I think this is just going to be like a sweet little book, a fast, quick, and easy read, and I just like how it bounces back and forth between each apartment building. So this is like apartment number 17, Serena, apartment number 14, Imogen. So it just kind of like bounces back between the residents of this building and how this like lockdown and isolation tests their relationship, makes them stronger, all that sort of thing. So I just think it's going to be like a sweet little read, and we can all relate to something from this book because of quarantine and isolation and all of that. Okay, next up, I've had this book for a while, but I've been saving it because I think it's just going to be the perfect summer read. I don't think this is specifically meant to be set in summer or anything. I haven't really looked into when it's set, but just traveling and stuff like that, and just like anything like that, it reminds me of summertime. So this is Just Haven't Met You Yet by Sophie Cousins. I think I've read a couple books by her, and she's just another like romance author. Nothing like too groundbreaking that she writes, but I just like that they're easy, quick reads. And this has 3.86 stars out of 5 on Goodreads. So, hopeless romantic and lifestyle reporter Laura's business trip to the Channel Islands isn't off to a great start. After an embarrassing encounter with the most attractive man she's ever seen in real life, she arrives at her hotel and realizes she's grabbed the wrong suitcase from the airport. Her only consolation is its irresistible contents, each of which intrigues her more and more. The owner of the suitcase is clearly Laura's dream man. Now all she has to do is find him. Besides, what are the odds that she'd find the one on the same island where her parents first met and fall in love, especially as she sets out to write an article about their romance. Commissioning surly cab driver Ted to ferry her around seems like her best bet in both tracking down the suitcase owner and retracing her parents' footsteps. But as Laura's mystery man proves difficult to find, now she uncovers family secrets, she may have to reimagine the life and love she always thought she wanted. So this combines like romance, traveling, an island. Like, it just feels like it's gonna be the cutest summer romance ever. And yeah, I haven't heard too much about this book, but I just like anything like this. With these like illustrated covers, they're gonna be good. They're gonna be a good romance. So, okay. I've heard a lot about this book on TikTok. This is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh, I think is her name. And yeah, this book is like contemporary fiction and everything. And I heard a lot of people like hate this character. But let's go ahead and read the back cover. This has 3.74 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Our narrator should be happy, shouldn't she? She's young, thin, pretty, a recent Columbia graduate, works an easy job at a hip art gallery, lives in an apartment on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, paid for, like the rest of her needs, by her inheritance. But there is a hole in her heart, and it isn't just the loss of her parents, or the way her Wall Street boyfriend treats her, or her sadomasochistic relationship with her best friend Reva. It's the year 2000 in a gritty Aglater with wealth and possibility. What could be so terribly wrong? Both tender and blackly funny, merciless and compassionate, My Year of Rest and Relaxation is a powerful answer to that question, and a showcase for the gifts of one of our major writers working at the height of her powers. So I think that's why people think like the main character is just so unlikable, which I really like authors that can make their main characters unlikable. Like, you can be curious about them and stuff but not like them. Sally Rooney does a really good job at that. Like, a lot of her characters are like so unbearable. But this just sounds really interesting. A little bit different than anything I've ever read before, but I think it's going to be just a good, quick read, and don't know if it's going to be too groundbreaking, but we'll see. I'll definitely let you guys know and update you when I finish this one. Okay guys, we have 2 books left, and I'm pretty sure they're both romance. I always end with romance, and most of my books are romance or thriller, but gotta love it. So the next book is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I've heard so much about this book, and it's a crime. It's truly a crime I haven't read this one yet, because it's literally a movie with Lucy Hale, and yeah. Okay. This one has 4.03 stars out of 5 on Goodreads, so let's read the back cover. Lucy Hutton and Joshua Timble hate each other. Not dislike, not begrudgingly tolerate, hate. And they have no problems displaying their feelings through a series of ritualistic, passive-aggressive maneuvers as they sit across from each other, executive assistants to co-CEOs of a publishing company. Lucy can't understand Joshua's joyless, uptight, meticulous approach to his job. Joshua is clearly baffled by Lucy's overly bright clothes, quirkiness, and Pollyanna attitude. Now that they're up for the same promotion, their battle of wills has come to a head, and Lucy refuses to back down when their latest game could cost her dream job. But the tension between Lucy and Joshua has also reached its boiling point, and Lucy is discovering that maybe she doesn't hate Joshua, and maybe he doesn't hate her either, or maybe that this is just another game. So this one is like an enemies to lovers, smutty kind of romance. They're up for the same job, they're both attractive, they both hate each other and each other's mannerisms, but then they get together, you know what I mean? So I'm just super excited to read this. I know it's gonna be cheesy, but I'm just excited to read, experience the tension that they two have with one another, and then I'm excited to watch the movie because I love Lucy Hale. I think she's just so cute. Okay, last book in the pile has a 4.04 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I'm just gonna say I haven't had a good track record with this author yet, but I've heard better things about this one than her other book that I tried to read. So this is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, and if you don't know who Casey is, she wrote Red, White, and Royal Blue, and I think that's her most popular book, and that is one of the first books I've ever DNF'd. Like, I got 80 pages into it and it was just unbearable. I couldn't read it, and I gave it to my sister, and a lot of my friends have told me that I should try and read it again, just because you have to get to like page 150 for like the hating part to be over, and then the good stuff to begin. But maybe I'll give that one another chance if I like this book. So this is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, and like I said, it has a 4.04 out of 5 on Goodreads. So let's read the back cover, because the front cover is like New York City subway or Chicago subway or something. I think it's NYC because the book is set in NYC, but anything travel related and romance is perfect for summer. So, back cover. For cynical 23-year-old August, moving to New York City is supposed to prove her right, that things like magic and cinematic love stories don't exist, and the only smart way to go through life is alone. She can't imagine how waiting tables at a 24-hour pancake diner and moving in with too many weird roommates could possibly change that. And there's certainly no chance of her subway commute being anything more than a daily trudge through boredom and electrical failures. But then there's this gorgeous girl on the train, Jane. Dazzling, charming, mysterious, impossible Jane. Jane with her rough edges and swoopy hair and soft smile, showing up in a leather jacket to save August this morning when she needs it most. August's subway crush becomes the best part of her day, but pretty soon she discovers there's one big problem. Jane doesn't just look like an old school punk rocker. She's literally displaced in time from the 1970s, and August is going to have to use everything she tried to leave in her own past to help Jane. Maybe it's time to start believing in some things after all. So it sounds like it has like that supernatural sort of, not supernatural, but sort of the fantasy aspect to it as well, which makes it a bit more interesting than I think Red, White, and Royal Blue. So I'm super excited to read this one. This one sounds a lot more interesting in my opinion, and we love a woman on woman romance, or men on men romance, or just a man and a woman, whatever. Romance is romance. I don't care who the characters are. So super excited to read this one, and that's the last book in the stack, you guys. That's the last book in the stack of this little summer book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you got some inspiration for some books that you can pick up this summer and add to your TBR list. I'm definitely going to film another one because I have more books to haul for you guys. I have read so many books lately that I want to film a book wrap up for you guys. I have more books that I'm probably going to buy to put on my TBR list to sort of get me through this summer, because it's going to be a busy summer because I'm moving and that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm also in my new apartment when I move in August. Follow along for the vlogs and stuff if you guys want to know where I'm moving and see like the moving process and furniture buying process and decorating everything. I'm gonna get the biggest bookshelf ever, so I obviously have to buy more books to fill it. So I'm rationalizing the fact that I'm getting a bookshelf to buy more books to fill the bookshelf, because a bookshelf without books is pointless. So there's definitely going to be more book hauls for you guys between the summertime right now and fall, and definitely going to be like holiday book hauls, which that's a long time away, so I need to like not jump the gun. But definitely going to have a book wrap up for you guys coming up soon, some more TBR lists, as well as more book hauls. And I'm definitely going to be filming a lot of reading vlogs, especially for a lot of these books, because they all sound so interesting. And yeah, let me know any other book recommendations you have for me, or video recommendations. It doesn't even have to be book video recs, but definitely subscribe, like this video, comment down below. Be sure to follow me on Goodreads, Instagram, TikTok to keep up with me over there. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Can't wait to edit it for you guys and get it up, but I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.